you really create from nothing.
That's what I aim always. It's a huge inspiration, finding something and thinking, what can I do with this? How can I use it if I have nothing to use? And then just go from there.
Good morning, Hannalie. It's so great to meet you here on Zoom.
Yeah, imagine that. I remember a time when there was no internet, and now you in Vienna and I'm in Riversdale and we can chat. I love it.
Exactly. Isn't it amazing? And all with social media. And I mean, you've got a wonderful social media page with all your artworks, and it's so great to see that. And that's what I love about social media, is that artists really share their work.
Yes, and the possibilities is endless.
So tell me, Hannalie, you are in Riversdale, based in Riversdale, and you have your studio there as well?
Yes, it's situated 4 hours from Cape Town, just before you get Mossel Bay, at the foot of the Sleeping Beauty mountain range.
Oh, wonderful. An ideal place for an artist to be creative.
Almost like a fairy tale.
Yeah. But Hannalie, your art is so different to what I've seen. I must say, I've never seen anything like this, where you take actual photographs and you make artwork on it. So it's a type of embroidery that you do.
Yes, I stitch on rubber. So disregarded inner tubes from cars and tractors, and I clean it, and I use that as my medium to embroider on. Then I use that embroidery inlay to attach to either the photographic print of a real photograph or the real photograph, depending on what I work with. And then you've got this lovely mixture of inner tubes, rubber, thread, and vintage photos.
Amazing. And how did you get to this idea of doing it this way?
It's been a long process. I used to work with a variety of mediums. I did sculpture as well. And then one year, I decided to make rubber toys like this.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
I joined the Cape CCDI, the Cape Craft and Design Institute. And then I missed the art world too much. So I decided, nah, I'm not going to try to save the rhino anymore with my toys. I'm just going to focus on my practice and save my family.
Great idea. But now the medium of rubber, why exactly rubber?
Oh, it's so easily available. They throw it away. It goes to the trash heaps. So I always use what I've got. And at that stage, we were in financial bad space. And then I saw this rubber and I thought, oh, I'll give it a try. And I love it because it's industrial. It almost feels like skin. It's a very sturdy thing to embroider on.
Really? Well, it's so amazing that you thought of that, or that you came up to the idea, because this is something that we, I mean, it's in the wheel of a car or of a vehicle, and you don't think of it as using it for art.
Well, there was this artist, Nicholas Schrobu, who used to work with that as well. So I was partly inspired by that. But that was the time when I started making toys and joining the craft industry. And then I thought, but how am I going to do it different than Nicholas Schrobu, adding my own voice and using that same materials like oil paint. You get different painters using oil paint, but they all do it different. So I just decided I'm going to use the rubber as well and then just make it my own.
And the embroidery part, are you a sewer? I mean, did you did you do sewing or anything? Why the embroidery with it?
Years ago in 2004, I did an exhibition. I used Polaroids, and I underneath I stitched it to material, and underneath I embroidered. But I never thought I would carry on with it. And then years later, when I did the toys, a friend asked me if I could add her daughter's name to the toy, and I thought, I'm going to do that. and then I stitched it on. And then that's when I fell in love with stitching again. But it's all self-taught, the embroidery part, although I did study fine art. But so it's go with the flow and testing and experimenting and playing, and that's what feeds my creativity.
And then the vintage photographs. So this is a combination of all the different mediums, but also you take the photograph and you change it. I see you change the faces of the photograph. So why that?
Well, years ago, I used photographs as well, but then I did a different medium. I didn't embroider just yet. So I used found objects and toys and attached it on the photograph. And then one of the gallerists told me, but you could go bigger. You can have it blown up to any size. And that opens so much possibilities. And so I have all this photographs from my mother-in-law that they store in drawers, because who is looking through photographs these days? Yeah. I mean, I saw wonderful family photos on your blog or your website.
Oh, yeah.
Your family. And I'm like, oh, that is so cool. I can do lots with that.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. So you've been on my blog. I'm so happy that somebody reads it.
Yeah, I saw your photographs, and this was this fairy tale is that you visited your son in Estonia, and you had this town and snow. I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Hannalie. That makes me very happy. Then it was worth writing.
Very cool.
But you, so the faces. So why specifically change the faces on the photographs?
Because then they become more universal. It's not just my family or my great-great-grandfather. I give him a mask. The mask part only came after COVID, because at one stage during COVID, I said to my husband, why can't we just wear cultural masks? It's so much beautiful than a medical mask. And I went to Spa with a party shop mask, a tiger, and the children were freaked out. They were so scared of me. And I thought, it's so weird. We live in this age with COVID, with masks, but the little children, when I have a party mask on, they run away. So that triggered the masks and my research into masks and the power of the mask. And that's so I just replaced the faces like somebody that removes wrinkles. What do you call those people? Plastic surgery.
Yeah.
This is rubber surgery.
Amazing. So the masks that you put on there are all traditional. So you get inspired by traditional masks, like tribal masks almost.
Yes. But not only South African, even Balinese or Congo, whatever rocks I fancy. And sometimes I just replace it with skulls, because I have a very soft spot for skulls. So it's as if I take off the face and just expose what is underneath.
And the colors, of course, you use. So I can see in the background one of your artworks, and it's very colorful, the masks that you use.
Yes, this is the lovely Princess Candlewick, and she's shining the candle in the time of load shedding for us.
Oh, okay. The wonderful load shedding.
Oh my goodness.
But you also somewhere on your Instagram, I saw also that you dress according, that you decided to dress according to your art.
I love dress up from the age of 5. I used to wear my mother's dresses and high heels, and that came through again when I had my show, The Rubber Ever After, at the KKNK. I didn't have funds to print promotional paraphernalia, so I decided I'm going to use myself and dress up. Each day I'm going to wear something else, and that was such. People loved it, and I gave out cookies on the way, and to have that interaction, because as soon as you dressed up or dressed as something else or wearing different makeup, I think you could become more approachable to the normal art viewer at the festival. And then that just carried through. And then years later, I met a tailor William Mills, and he helped me make a fairy tale dress out of rubber, which I don't fit into anymore, but soon.
Yeah.
And so it just carried on from there. And this is also a rubber neck piece, just for good luck for this interview. So,
okay. How wonderful. But what I absolutely love about your story is that you took from nothing, you created from nothing. So you said, you were in financial difficulties, so you used the rubber. And I'm sure also then your mind went further and used the pictures so already existing things, and now you said that you didn't have money for all the promotional stuff, and you created. So you really create from nothing.
That's what I aim always. It's a huge inspiration, finding something and thinking, what can I do with this? How can I use it if I have nothing to use? And then just go from there.
But so wonderful, because that means there's no excuse to create. So sometimes, people say, well, I don't have the money, or I can't afford to buy this, but then really you can create from nothing.
It won't be as you envision it, perhaps, but maybe it will lead to something else. There's always possibilities.
But that's great. Great inspiration. But Hannalie, so where do you exhibit? Do you have exhibitions coming up?
Yes, so in March, I'll be showing with Knysna Fine Art. So with Knysna Fine Art, I had my first gallery show ever in 2003. So this is basically 20 years later, 21 years later. It's like a full circle coming back to them.
Oh, wow.
And they recently revamped their gallery. They've got a huge gallery space at Teeson Island, and they renovated the boardroom. So I'm going to get the boardroom, which is very exciting. And so that's happening in March. And then in April, I have a show with M Contemporary in Australia. And that show will focus around sport because after last year, the World Cup and our public holiday. So I'm seeing all the South African sport photos altered and reimagined. Yeah, and the show is going to be called Eudaimonia, which is a Greek word. I love Greek words starting with "eu" because in Afrikaans it sounds like "ew," bad, but it's
okay.
Good. So Eudaimonia means to be prosperous and healthy, and
okay. And now for this sporting or this sport exhibition, do you create all new pictures? Do you use then also old pictures of sporting events, or how do you do that?
Yes, I was fortunate to receive beautiful photographs from a friend, Joan Jacustein in Spain. He came to visit in South Africa and he gave me his family heirloom with sport photos from 1906. And there was a one from 1903. And I was so inspired using that. So I blew them up and I gave them all cultural masks to go and attend the Australian Open So
wow. But now so you have to now ship them to Australia?
Yes, the gallery ships them through.
Okay.
And so I'm busy finishing that up so that if it lands in customs like the last time, there's plenty of time to get cleared and then reach the gallery.
Yeah, because that's also some of the logistics that you have to keep in mind if you exhibit in another country.
Absolutely, and that's why I normally work 6 months in advance. So I'm always preparing for something else. Even while we talk now, I'm almost finished and I'm ready to ship.
And in South Africa, do you think there are enough opportunities for artists to exhibit and interest in art?
Absolutely. You just have to be aware, and there's a lot of different pages. it's difficult to get into a gallery per se, but I was just persistent. I went to Knysna, showed them my work. I went to Cape Town, showed them my work. Now with social media, it's easier. But back in the day, I went with my portfolio bag and make an appointment, old school. So I'm sure there is lots of opportunities, especially these days.
But you hear from musicians always talking about collaborating and how much they learn from each other. Do you have the same in the art industry, where artists collaborate?
Since I live quite far away from the main city centres like Cape Town, I mean, I'm in a rural area basically, and so I don't often get a chance to meet other artists or go to openings or network, or collaborate. Sometimes it happens where you work together and talk virtually and then submit for a show, but at the moment, I'm just all alone here in my studio.
Oh, okay. Going solo.
And I actually love solos because then I can make up a story and I can play the part. Whereas with a group show, you have to take in account all the other works how do they speak to each other. Yeah, so it's more challenging.
But now, tell me, what are the wishes for you for the future? What do you see happening for your art and you as the artist? Is that a difficult one?
Well, what I learned from fairy tales is it's dangerous. Be careful what you wish for. It might just come true.
Yeah.
So I have a wish journal, which I write everything down. And I believe in voicing your wishes to the universe that things can happen and it can come true. But also you have to take in the price you have to pay for some wishes. Yeah. So I'm very careful just to utter it and say, I wish for. I'm doing a group show in Hermanus, also in March, and it's titled Conversations. And one of the works, The Make-Believe Wife, was inspired by the fisherman and his wife's fairy tale. And there it was about greed and greediness, and she always wished for more until the fish didn't grant her any more wishes. So watch the space, you'll see my wishes come through in what I do.
Okay.
I wish for a happy ever after. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I'm with you there. I'm totally 100% with you there. But yeah, it's also I assume in your work from where you started, it's this process, and every time things happen that sometimes with these things it happens better than you could have wished for. So it's almost also part of a process, that you can be happy with one's place where you are in life or with your art and then progress to the next level.
Process is very important. And even with you, I read about you went to this industrial site and you were sort of nervous, but when you got there, you were really... So sometimes you just have to get to a place, check it out and be inspired and show up and do the work and do the process.
I know, it's that thing where I always believe if you tiptoe into the water, you might not go in, but if you just jump in, there's only one thing to do, and that's swim.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So sometimes that brings out the best in us.
Yeah, and you have to leave space open for that things to happen and be present.
Yeah, no, that's true. But Hannalie, this was so great talking to you. I absolutely love what you do. I love the dress up. I think you are such an inspiration, and how you took nothing and created, or took what you had there and saw the possibilities in it. I find that very inspirational.
Thank you. And I'll keep on watching your website for your photographs. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And whenever I'm in Riversdale, I'll definitely come and have a look at your studio.
Thank you.
Okay, Hannalie. Have a lovely afternoon.
You too.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.